Hello, I'm Ron Jetter, and this is part 6 of my series on grief. I hope you have watched at least the introduction, and if you've wanted an understanding of the tasks of grief, according to J. William Worden, watch parts 2 through 5. Today I want to specifically talk about the holidays. After all, this is the most wonderful time of the year. Only it's not, because your holiday isn't the same. There's someone missing. There's someone that won't be sitting at the table. There's an empty chair. There may even be presents under a tree that won't be opened. What do you do with them? The first holiday season after the death of someone we love is often the most difficult. That doesn't mean other ones can't be difficult. In fact, after the death of someone close to us, someone in one of our inner circles, we will go through a year of firsts. The first anniversary of their birthday, first anniversary of a marriage, first anniversary of a death, the first Thanksgiving, the first Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year, whatever holidays you may celebrate. And it may be also that you have to go through dates that won't happen. This would have been the day she graduated from high school. This would have been the day he got married. Dates like that make it even harder. But somehow during December, there is this pressure that says, you've got to stuff it down. You've got to keep it in. You've got to put a smile on your face. And there's lots of music that reinforces that. Where are the sad songs? Well, there are a few out there. The Moody Blues, December. There are some songs there that acknowledge that this can be a season when it's cold and dark, not just outside, but also in our hearts. One of the resources that I have found very helpful are those from Conley Publishing, such as this one, the Handbook for Handling the Holidays, and it was written by Bruce Conley and his sister Karen Howard. It is unfortunately out of publication. I contacted them some years ago and found out how to get it, and they said, well, when it's done, it's done. They're not going to sell the rights, but I'm going to borrow from them, while also then making sure that I give credit to Conley and Howard for the work, and for Conley Publishing that is no longer offering us resources. I haven't found anything that really replaces it. It's so good. One of the things that I really enjoy, for instance, is this Holiday Grievers Bill of Rights. And you might find this helpful if you are one of those or know someone grieving. First of all, you have the right to say time out. Just like in a game, you can say, okay, I need to just walk away for a while. And I don't need someone telling me this is my 30-second timeout. I need to take as much time as I need. Because right now, I'm not able to participate in whatever's going on, the planning, the decorating, the cooking. Number 2, you have a right to be honest, to tell it like it is. One of the things that people who are grieving often get tired of is people saying, how are you? What's more helpful is, how are you today? Are you getting through today? What's your greatest challenge today? And is there anything I could do to help with that? But how are you is such a general question, and oftentimes you feel like giving the sarcastic answer, how do you think I am? I just lost Bill after 64 years of marriage. You have the right to bah humbug days. I like that. Days when you say, I'm not participating. I am not feeling the spirit. I am Ebenezer Scrooge before the three spirits came. Maybe tomorrow I'll be Ebenezer Scrooge afterward, but not today. You have a right to do things differently. If there's one thing holidays come with, it's traditions. My mother and father moved into a brand new neighborhood on what was then the very edge of Boise, Idaho, up on what they called the second bench. There were a handful of houses up there. And that was in 57. When they died a few weeks away from each other in 2014, it was one big city, 500,000 people for 30 miles on out. Wow, lots of changes, lots of stuff, lots of traditions. We would go home, even as adults, taking our own kids, and they would join in. The house itself had traditions just because they had all happened there. There were green and blue lights on the house and shades of turquoise. My father was accused of being a Seahawks fan long before there were the Seattle Seahawks, because he loved the green and the turquoise and the blue. And I followed in that, and my brother did too. My wife finally said after my dad's death, enough's enough. We're putting multicolored lights on the house. You have a right to do things differently. Just because tradition says so, doesn't have to. You have the right to be where you want to be. Mom, you have to be with us, the kids. You have to stay with us. You have a right to choose where you physically want to be for the holidays. You have a right to some fun. Just because you're grieving doesn't mean you can't laugh, that you can't have some fun. Having fun and laughing and experiencing joy isn't a betrayal of the person who's dead. Far from it. It's a sign that your life shared with that person was special, built you up, and that you will be okay. You know they would want you to. You have a right to change direction midstream without having to offer an explanation. Okay, great, that was fun, now I'm done. You have a right to do things at different times. Well, worship maybe at a certain time. Well, maybe you don't go to the same place, you go to a different place at a different time. Maybe dinner is always at the same time, and not for you. You have a right to say, I need to do different things. We do a big Christmas breakfast. Well, I'm not doing breakfast. I'm not cooking it. I'm not even eating it. You have the right to rest, peace, and solitude. Be good to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Eat healthy. Take a walk and rest. You have a right to do it all differently next time. Just because you're doing things differently this year than you've ever done it, breaking all the traditions, or at least half of them, doesn't mean that next year you won't say, I want to start a new tradition, or I want to do some things, I want to borrow from the past, or let's go back to what we've always done. You have a right to make that decision when that time comes. One of the things that Conley and Edwards recommend is making a plan. Think of all the things that you're going to be doing and participating in. What is your responsibility? What has it normally been? Are you a helper? Are you the primary person? The meal, attending religious services, traveling, giving gifts to family and friends, shopping, giving to charities, Christmas cards or a Christmas letter, decorating in and out, all of the household baking, family gatherings, entertainings. Do you do an annual open house? We have for years. This year is COVID. No open house this year. Boy, I think we're all grieving during COVID, and the holidays is different for us. And I think we're all grieving a little bit for the holidays that we've had, because COVID holidays may be different. Or maybe we're in denial and we're forcing ourselves to have the same kind of holiday we always have, which may or may not be good. Think of the things that you've done, though, and make a plan. Try to anticipate, and then share that plan with your family members. Let them know that you need to grieve and that you need their support and their understanding. Some of them may be able to give it. Some of them may not. They say, oh, come on, you can grieve in January. Let's just live it up now. And you have, again, the right to say, no, this is what I need. Focus on what you need. Make a plan. Decide what you will and what you won't do. And then feel free to change those plans midstream, anytime you need to. The holidays are a time not only to celebrate traditions, They're a time to grieve traditions that will forever change. Life is a series of losses. From birth to death, we will lose. We will lose friends. We will move places. We will lose jobs. We will retire. We will lose functionality. We will lose our activities of daily living. We will lose our health. We will lose spouses, children, friends, grandparents, parents, siblings, cousins. Lose people around us. Lose pets. Every loss counts as a loss. Don't ever let anyone tell you your loss isn't a true loss. It's yours. You don't have to compare. We don't have to score. It isn't a game. My loss is more significant than yours. It isn't a one-upmanship. Yours is yours. You have a right to grieve. And it's grieving that allows you to move on, to get through the holidays, to get to January, to get to a new year. Peace be with you during this holiday season.